All right, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today, I guess I want to introduce you guys to my new free community. It's Live Your Best Life Collective. And so, if you guys are new, all right, I want to introduce myself. I am Dr. Melissa J. Williams, and I am a coach. I've been teaching individuals how to engage in government contract now for 32 years. I help them to what? Grow and scale their business by what? Actually winning contracts. I also teach small business owners how to work smarter versus harder by utilizing technology and automation in order to improve their systems and processes. So, again, hello and welcome. If you guys are new, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on videos like this. So, this video is probably going to be full packed with a lot of helpful ideas that can help each and every one that's listening, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're just individuals that's seeking to what? Grow and scale and improve yourself. So again, I want to introduce to you the Live Your Best Life Collective, and it's a free community that I've started. And the reason that I started the community, right? Live Your Best Life Collective is because I have been a coach for years, and I've been a teacher for years. That's actually my background. I come from academia. I used to be a professor, a business professor, and then later a dean, and then later a vice president. Right. So I understand. Hello, hello. Thank you so much. I understand the challenges that individuals face because I talk to students and individuals every single day. And many of the challenges that they face are similar challenges to other individuals, right? And so, what I want to do, and you guys know, I trademark Live Your Best Life Doing What You Love because I believe, right? I believe that it's very important that you live your best life doing the things that you love, right? Doing the things that you love. And I believe, hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? All right, hello. Thank you guys so much for the comments. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate that as well. And so what I want you guys to do is just hang out with me for a while because we're just going to kind of talk about a lot of things that will help you to take your personal self to the next level. All right, so started a free community, Live Your Best Life Collective, right? And the community is all about helping individuals to understand their true purpose. I think many individuals they live their life, right? And they're swimming around and they're trying to figure out what they should be doing, right? A lot of people, they have special skills. And I believe personally that everyone is born with something that's special and unique, right? I believe that each and every one of us, hello, I believe that each and every one of us we have a special skill, a special gift that only we have, right? That my gift is not like yours and yours is not like mine. And what I see far too often is that individuals are still trying to figure it out, right? They're still trying to figure out which direction to go in, what to do. And if that sounds like you, all right, leave a comment below that you can relate, right? I can relate. So again, I find that people are just trying to figure out where they should go and what their next move is, right? And so, hey Rodney, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that you subscribe. Thank you. We reached over 1,000, so thank you so much. And continue to watch. Please continue to watch. Share this content with others that are on a journey, right? And I think many of us are on a journey because, of course, we understand that life is not um, it is a journey. You're not going to get there, you know. Life, we're going to continue to go through ups and downs, around curves, over hills, you know, in valleys, you know, through the river, through the ocean. You know, we're going to continue to what? Be on this journey. And I believe that one of the things that you can do if you're really truly wanting to make the best of your life's journey, right? Live your best life doing what you love. If you want to make the best of your life's journey, you need to be able to understand what your purpose is, right? And a lot of people, they don't even know how to figure out what their purpose is. And so I'm actually a part of a mastermind and an inner circle. And one of the things we're talking about is trying to figure out what you're gifted at, right? And I really love the conversation. I really love the conversation because for years I didn't really know what I was gifted at. I knew what I loved, right? And I soon, after a lot of soul searching and studying, hello, hello. How are you, Gabrielle? Thank you. It is an excellent Sunday. But after years in soul searching, I figured out what my gift was. And my gift is I am the executor. So my family, we call ourselves the powerhouse, right? And within our family, we have different, I guess, superpowers, right? And my superpower is the executor, right? Within the family, we've got the executor, that's me. We've got the collaborator, um, that's Kamal. We've got the communicator, that's Benjamin. We've got the strategist, that's Sabrina. We've got the visionary, that's Benjamin Williams. And then we also have, um, she used to be the planner, but I think she changed her name, right? Maybe to the realist. All right. So, and that's Mallory. So, um, so we have all of these superpowers within our family. And the way we actually came up with what our superpower, you know, was we did an exercise years and years and years ago to figure out like what is it that we like doing, right? But we're not really motivated by it. What is it that we don't like doing, the things that we just hate, right? Hate doing, but we can do it. And what do we love doing that we actually just get so excited about it and it comes easy and it comes natural? So we did this exercise years ago. Hello, hello. And so we found out what each of our superpower was in the family. And so that has been so helpful for us. And I want to think we probably did this exercise maybe 10 years ago or longer, right? Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing and liking. I appreciate it. I'm super excited. Thank you so much. You guys don't know, I appreciate you guys, watching the content, making comments. And please, if you would, Nathan, if you would, um, make a comment, what you like about the channel, right? And what you would like to see more of. Because I don't know if you're new. We just started talking, but the conversation today is about live your best life, the collective, right? Um, what I wanted to do and what I've done is I've created a community, a free community that's going to help individuals that are trying to figure out what they want to do. All right, somebody's got a superpower out there. All right. Well, put in the comment what your superpower is because that's what's so exciting. And I love this topic. And like I said, you guys just stay with me for a while because if I have a superpower, and my superpower is I'm the executor. And you have a superpower. I don't know. Please put it in the comments. What is your superpower? All right. Put in the comment what your superpower is. But if I have a superpower and mine is the executor, someone else is the communicator, someone else is the planner, someone else is the strategist, someone else is the visionary, someone else is the technical, geeky person. Like when you put all of these people together, right? And they're in one community, you have something that's powerful. You have something that's powerful. And when I say you have something that's powerful, we can all draw on each other's superpower and or strengths. And so that's why I started Live Your Best Life Collective. It's a free community, right? I'm going to be posting it probably tomorrow. All right, so you guys can click on it and join. Join for free, right? Because we are truly better together. And okay, Nathan, you're the visionary. I love that. I love that. I love that. Gabrielle. Okay, so think of solutions for everything. So you are maybe a problem solver. I like that. A problem solver. All right, Gabrielle is a So this is crazy. I love it. I love it. So another person said we want to start a mastermind alliance. I love that too. And so that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We know that we are better together. We know that we have ideas, and many of my students, when they call me, is they have an idea, right? But they don't know how to put it together. They have an idea and they don't know how to connect the dots, right? There's folks that have attended my trainings, right? And they've purchased my courses, they've purchased my mini programs, right? And they get the knowledge, but they get the knowledge, but then after they get the knowledge, they get stuck, right? They're just swimming around with the knowledge, and they fail at what executing, right? So if we're talking about government contracting, they take the course, just say that they are a project manager, right? And they want to figure out how to win government contracts, be it local or federal, for project management. So they'll take the course, it'll tell them exactly what to do. And because I'm a teacher, I over communicate oftentimes, right? I make sure that you totally understand it. I break it down in such a way that, unless you're not awake, you'll understand what to do, right? Step by step by step, right? And I also have checklists for my students, right? Did you do this? All right, do this before you go to number 3. Do 1 and 2 first so that you don't get lost. But what I still find, and last year was an amazing year because we had so many students that won so much money, and we're going to tally the amount of contracts that was won last year in my own community. We're going to come with that total. And I know it was probably over like $7 million, right? It may have been closer to 8, but what we know is about $7 million for individuals that actually won contracts by what? Just participating in my program. But then there were some that, purchased the program and they didn't win a contract and they're like discouraged and, but when I talk to them, because I do have a one-on-one session with all of my students, I find that they didn't do the work, right? They got registered in SAM, they submitted one contract, but then they stopped, right? And so Live Your Best Life Collective, right? The free community that I want you guys to share with others. I want you guys to join. It's free. We're going to be helping each other. I'm going to provide as many free resources that I can that will help you to get unstuck. Because I think that's mostly what it is. I don't think, and I did a video the other day, I don't think it's because people lack motivation, right? some people are motivated more than others. Like you give me a task and I'm like, I'm going to start it right now, right? I can't wait for you to finish talking so I can start it. And then some people, right? And, make a comment. If this is you, say, this is me. Some people have to what? Wait and think about it, and pray about it. But so I don't think for the most part it's because you don't want it. You don't have the desire, right? I think that again that many folks just need accountability, right? If you tell me you're going to do something, I'm going to hold you accountable. And sometimes that works for people and sometimes that doesn't. Meaning, I may have students that purchase a program, right? Um, my big program, my 1997 program on how to, win government contracts, and then I have my one-on-one with them, and a week may go by and I'm like, okay, I'm so excited that you've joined the program. And then I talk to them next week and they're still at the same place that they were last week, right? And then, the teacher that I am, which of course that's another one of my superpowers, is that I'm a teacher. I want you to win, right? There's no reason for you not to win. I really believe, and it's been proven, that is easier for an individual to make a lot of money than it is to make a little money. I'm going to come back to that point in just a second. But when I get on to my students, when I say, okay, like, how are you expecting to grow if you had an assignment to do last week, 7 days ago, and 7 days have gone back by and you still haven't done that assignment? Like, are you really trying to win a contract? Are you really trying to change your circumstance? Are you really trying to be better? And, you know, I'll ask that question and sometimes they may hang up. Some people hang up, but I'm that coach. I'm going to hold you accountable because everyone deserves to be successful. If you have a desire to be successful, and I believe that, I just believe in innately that God wanted all of us to have all of the good things in life, that He wanted us to be successful. He wanted us to be fulfilled, right? And so if you have that desire and if you put in the work, there is no reason, guys, that you can't and shouldn't and won't be successful. Um, I talk about Kobe Bryant a lot in my training, right? Um, Honestly, when Kobe was alive, I didn't really like him a lot. I really didn't like him a lot because I didn't know who he was, right? I didn't know anything about him. I would just see him and I was like, he's so arrogant. He's this, right? But I wanted, and he passed, right? I wanted to know who this person was. Who is this Kobe Bryant? And so I started doing my research, and now he's one of my most favorite people, um, that I've ever known about because of his work ethics, right? Because of his work ethics, because of his commitment, because of his diligence, because of his execution, right? Because of his unwavering desire to be the best, right? And so, Kobe would make 1,000 shots, I'm told, a day, 1,000 shots, 1,000 shots a day, right? And I want to paraphrase it, but he would say that basically he didn't like lazy people, right? Lazy people could just go away, right? Get out of his face. He didn't like lazy people. But he also spoke about if you want to just be a little better, or if you want to be better, let's just say if you want to be better than the next person, all you have to do is outwork them. I'm going to say that again. If you want to be better than the next person, all you have to do is outwork them. And so that's why he did 1,000 shots every day, every day. And I hope I'm flicking my wrist, right? I played ball in high school and college, right? So, and so he could do that, right? He could make 1,000 shots every day. And when he was in the game, it was just automatic, right? It was automatic because he had did it so many times that it was second nature. Second nature. And I, you know, think of that second nature to mastery. To mastery. It's the same. All right, I think I got you guys back, but there's a pause in this video because I didn't silence my phone and I have a student that's calling me. But anyway, um, so I liken that to mastery, right? He mastered the art of playing basketball. And anything that we want, guys, anything that we want to do, if we want it bad enough, we have to master it. And how do you master anything? Anything in life, how do you master it? You just do it over and over and over again. And then just doing it over and over again is not going to help you master, right? Because when you do it, when he made the shots, right? The 1,000 shots, if the ball was short, right? Then he would say, okay, maybe I need to jump a little higher, or maybe I need to follow through, right? Maybe I need to follow through. And so when we're trying to master something, right? What you do is you do the repetition, you do it over and over again, but then you have to do um, you have to pivot and make modifications, right? That's not the word I'm looking for, but modifications, right? To your system, right? You can't just blindly just say, I'm gonna, I want to be on YouTube and I'm just gonna make 1,000 videos, right? You have to see, right, which videos are performing better than the others, right? And then you have to tweak the thumbnails, and then you have to make sure that your topics are, you know, resonating with your community. So you can't just make videos, you can't just make a shot. You have to make sure that you're tweaking everything that you do if you want to master, right? So again, I've started Live Your Best Life, right? Doing what you love, collective. And the collective is we're all going to come together, right? And we're going to help each other. We're going to come together. We're going to have a conversation, right? I'm going to hold you accountable. You got to figure out what it is that you're good at, you know? And when I say what is it that you're good at, I kind of want to change that because I'm good at a lot of stuff, right? I'm pretty well-rounded. And I know many of you guys are well-rounded. But just because you're well-rounded, it doesn't mean that you like doing those things, right? But you have to know what you're good at and what you're an expert at, right? And when I say expert, what you are an expert at and you love doing it, right? I'm an expert at this and I love doing it. I'm an expert at teaching and I love doing it. I'm an expert at helping people figure out problems and come up with solutions for them. And I love doing it because I love seeing people grow. I love seeing people become successful, right? Who wants to be on top by themselves, right? Who wants that? You know, I certainly don't. And I understand with technology, with AI, with community, with affiliate marketing, with YouTube, with Facebook, with all of these platforms that are out there, right? There is no way that you can't be successful, right? You can just go to YouTube Academy and learn stuff, right? I did it the hard way. I went to the university, right? I went to the university, and got a PhD, right? You don't have to do that. Or you can get a PhD on YouTube, right? Which I suggest, right? Because you won't have $100,000 student loan, right? But there is ways that you can be successful. There's ways that you can grow. There's ways that you can win. I always teach success is a system, right? And it doesn't matter what it is that you want. And I know I've been talking to many people about how to be successful in government contracting. But being successful, it doesn't matter which niche you're in, right? You can be successful. Doesn't matter your niche. you can be successful, because it's just a system, it's a process, right? And if you guys understand that, and what I think also, that when I talk to many of my students, they don't believe in themselves, right? They don't believe that they can. They don't believe that they deserve it, and probably 80, I'm going to say 80% of my students, they are women, right? And the and 80% of my students are women, and probably 45% of them are very successful women, are in the six-figure and seven-figure earning category, right? And that was important too, for me to figure out, like, who am I attracting, right? So I'm attracting women, and I'm attracting women that are already successful, right? Women that understand, right? And that's what I'm trying to teach with Live Your Best Life Collective, is I'm trying to teach everyone that you have to invest in yourself, right? And sometimes it's not about money, always. All right. Sometimes when people hear, oh, you got to invest in yourself, so that's money, 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 right? It's not always money that you have to invest in yourself. It's often time. And the old saying used to be that money is time and time is money. That's not true. That's not true. Your time is more valuable than money, but it comes a time in your life, all right, that you have to invest in yourself. And the women that I attract, the people in my community, they understand that. They understand, in order to be successful, I've got to invest some time. I've got to do the work, right? I got to be held accountable, right? And I have to what? Network with other individuals that are like me, that are doing the same thing that I'm doing. And I know I did another video a couple of days ago about, you don't want to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. You know, I remember one of my colleagues, I was like, I'm always the sharpest knife in the drawer. Like, when people come to me, I'm the problem solver, right? And the person said, well, I don't know if you're necessarily the smartest person. He says, because I came to you, and so maybe I'm smarter than you because I actually came to you, right? And I'm probably not saying it exactly like he said it, but I was like, yeah, so he sought me out, right? He sought me out, and he was like, I'm pretty smart. So that's what I'm trying to get you guys to do, is, if you're on this island by yourself and you're the only one that's maybe, winning or doing okay, you've got to surround yourself by people that are what? At a higher level than you, right? You can't stay down here and hang out with people down here. You've got to surround yourself with people up here. And then once you climb up here, you've got to surround yourself with people up here. And then once you get up here, you've got to surround yourself with people up here, right? You know, there's so many books about, that successful people do this and successful people do that. Successful people are executors, guys, just in case you guys didn't know. Successful people are early risers, right? Early risers. They get up early in the morning. You know, I get up at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. Many of them get up at 5 o'clock, 5:30. They exercise, they eat right, right? And then they do their work consistently. They're on a schedule, right? They're on a schedule. And we talked about that in a video yesterday. Like, if you're involved in these communities, and many people have, they purchase these inner circles, mastermind, all of these communities, and they buy these communities, but then they don't do anything with these communities, right? And then they say, well, it didn't work for me, right? But what you have to do is you have to learn to do what successful people do. Successful people, when the going gets tough, instead of them quitting, they continue to move forward. When they can't figure it out, they say, who can I get that can help me figure this out, right? And I talk about the book all the time, Who Not How, right? The book Who Not How, right? You don't have to know all of the answers, right? You just need to be able to, within our community, Live Your Best Life Collective, right? Be able to find that individual. Post your question. I'm trying to figure this out. Post your question or your concern or your dilemma in the group, right? In our community, and someone is going to be able to help you solve it. Someone knows the answer. Someone knows the answer. And I remember my dad used to say all the time, he says, there's more than one answer to every problem, typically, right? So you might get, Mary to say, hey, I ran into that problem and this is what I did. You might get John to say, I ran into that problem and this is what I did. And Carl might say, I ran into this problem and this is what I did. Right. And what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to take that information and say, all right, so 3 people had the same problem and they solved the problem, but in different ways. Truly, guys, we're better together, right? We're better together. So I know the people that are watching now, I don't have the link in the description, but I will. So if you guys are watching this video, I guess maybe tomorrow or the next day, the link will be in the video so you guys can join the free community. It's called Live Your Best Life Collective, right? And again, I want you guys to understand that you can live your best life doing what you love, but you need to figure out what that is. What is it that I love? What is it that comes second nature to me that I don't have to think about, right? What is it that you've mastered that comes easy that you can share with someone else, share to the world. And when you start sharing your gifts to the world, right? You can monetize your experience. Again, in my community, the $1 trillion client, I have so many women that have been in business for decades, right? They're project managers, they're senior managers, they're IT specialists, they're supply chain managers. They own their own construction companies. You know what I'm saying? So many. They own their own janitorial business. They own their own landscaping business, right? So many women. They're educators, right? They're presidents at universities, right? So many women that have so much information and knowledge that they've gained over decades, right, of trial and error. And what they're doing, what we're doing in our other community, which is our mastermind community, is they're learning. I'm teaching them how to take that information, that knowledge, that experience that they have, and monetize it. Right? So if you guys are interested in doing that, you may be interested in joining the mastermind, right? And then, of course, with my inner circle, what we're doing is we're also learning how to build other leaders, right? Because once you make it, right? Once you make it, I believe that it's your right, it's your duty to reach down and help someone else. Reach back and help someone else. I believe it's your duty. And so, of course, in the inner circle, that's what we're doing, right? We've made it. We've figured it out. And what we're doing now is we're saying, hey, I want to help the next young entrepreneur that's trying to figure this thing out. I want to help them. I want to be their mentor, their coach, right? And so that's our inner circle. But we've got so many programs that we know can benefit each and every one of you. And I believe the free program, Live Your Best Life Collective, is going to be something that's going to be powerful, right? And so I know that in the upcoming months, that program, that community is going to grow. Live Your Best Life Collective, I know it's going to grow. I know people that are just looking for help, right? Sometimes you don't always have the money to get help, So I get that, right? You may not be there, you may not have the money to get help, but there's free help out there. you know um I have a nonprofit, is the Veteran Support Network, and of course it's for veterans. And oftentimes, veterans are trying to figure out, where do I go to get different types of support, right? So with the Veteran Support Network, I help them to figure out and to navigate where to go to get help, where to go to get help, right? You've tried it over and over again and you failed, right? You said, okay, I'm gonna sell on Amazon, right? You tried it and you failed. I'm gonna I'm gonna be a coach. You tried it and you failed. Um, I'm gonna do government contracting. You tried it and you failed, right? But if you have the spirit that even though you tried it and you failed, but in your heart, you know that I'm so close. I failed, but I'm so close. I teach that you really never fail. You never fail, right? I teach that you never really fail. Everything that we do, and if you look at it, it's your perspective. It's your it's the way you think about everything, right? You can look at the glass half full or half empty. But if you think, "Oh, I failed," and you really use that word fail, right? Instead of saying, "You know what? I learned from it. I was close. I'm close, right? But I'm not there. What did I learn?" Right? We grow that way. And imagine this, guys. Imagine this. If you never failed, how would you grow? How would you grow? If you never failed, what would motivate you to keep pushing and to keep striving, right? If everything you did, you succeeded just like that, you know, I think people would stop dreaming, stop trying, stop pushing because it's easy. And we know nothing in life that's worth having is going to be easy. Nothing in life that's worth having is going to be easy, you know? And it's not going to be easy until we figure it out. But once we figure it out, once we master the skill, then it becomes easier. And I can remember my journey on YouTube. Oh, 6 years ago, right? I just hit 1,000 subscribers and I'm super, I'm super excited. But my journey 6 years ago, I felt like I was a horrible mess, horrible mess. You know, I felt like I had to be not authentic, right? I had to be someone else. I had to put on makeup and have lashes on and have my hair done and all of that in order to teach, you know. And that just feeling that way, that feeling, right? I'm an ISTJ. All right, I'm an ISTJ. But that feeling that way, it kept me from moving forward. And then the day that I decided that, hey, I'm just coming to you live. I'm coming to you the way I am. And I don't care about the haters, right? Here in Georgia, they say, and it may be all over the world, but let the haters be your motivators, right? I don't care about the haters. I'm just coming with what God has told me to share. I'm coming with, with my heart, with what I feel compelled to share with you. And when I just said, bump it, I don't care. This is who I am. I know that I'm going to resonate with someone. All right. I know that I'm going to resonate with someone. When I decided to just come, and share my experience, share my story, my program, my community, it just blew up. It blew up. It was like it blew up overnight. It's like it blew up overnight. And the reason I say that is because I get people that, that comment. I get people that click on the link. I get people that join my courses. I get people that DM me, right? They want to learn. I did a video, and if you guys, I don't know, watch my video. Who am I? You know, how did I get here? What is my story? And I tell people, my story is different. I didn't, I wasn't homeless. I didn't sleep in my car. I came from, I'm going to say, a lower middle class family. My dad was in the military, right? And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. I was also raised by my grandparents, right? In a country town in Arkansas. But, you know, but when I opened up, right? And that was hard for me to do. Guys, that was hard for me to open up because I'm a quiet person, very private person. I think I'm an introvert. I think I am. People say I'm not, but I think you can kind of be, you know, in the middle, you know. But when I started sharing my story, what I found is that it resonated with people, right? And that's what I'm telling each and every one of you guys that are watching. You have a story. You have a story. You have something that you've gone through that is truly, right? Truly something that can help someone else. And I think that's why we're here. We're not here just to suck up air, right? 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 We're here to what? To create, right? We're here to give back, right? And, and if you're like me, you don't want to just be taking up space on the earth, right? You don't want to just be taking up space, on the planet and not leave something back, not create a legacy, you know. And many folks I know, because I'm talking to these high producing 6-figure, 7-figure earning female successful women. They want to leave a legacy. They're talking about generational wealth, right? And so if you are an individual that want to what? Not just be sucking up some air, right? But if you want to leave some knowledge, drop some knowledge, inspire people, motivate people, create something that you can what? Maybe pass on to your children's children, right? The time is now. Live Your Best Life Collective, right? That's a community. That's a free community that what? You can come, you can be vulnerable, you can share your ideas, you can get feedback, and oftentimes when you're starting a small business, right, and you don't know what to start, um, we used to say, or I won't say we used to say, I tell my students, if you don't know what business you want to go in, before you get into that business, right, you maybe want to test it. You may want to do a split test to see, okay, is this viable? All right, is this idea even viable? Who's gonna buy it? Who cares? Will it resonate with anybody? And so in our community, in our free community, Live Your Best Life Collective, you can put your idea out, right? You can poll the members to find out if what I'm doing even makes sense, right? Does anybody care, right? And you can get feedback. You can get critiques like, this is what I think you should do. This is how you can improve this idea. You know what I'm saying? And if you get crickets, if nobody responds, then you may want to what? Rethink your idea. Maybe not trash it, maybe just tweak it a little bit. All right? And or you may want to trash it, right? It just depends. But it's important that you understand that you can be successful. It's important that you understand that you need to learn how to work smarter versus harder. And you can do that, right? Um, Sometimes I know people feel like I'm so close. I've got this idea in my head. I'm so close, but I just don't know the next step or the next move or the resource, right? Because a lot of my high earning women in my community, they know what to do, but they don't have the resource, right? And so, I have a social media digital marketing agency, right? That I help individuals that what they want to be a coach, they want to create branding, they want to launch a YouTube channel, they want to, start a community. I help them what to create the the community or the channel from scratch, right? Because people have the idea, but they may not have the tools. They may not have the expertise on their team. And that's another thing, guys. Building a team in the community, Live Your Best Life Collective, you can start to build your own team, right? Because there's going to be folks that have a skill set that you need. You may have a skill set that they need. And we're going to what? Work together. And when you work together, you're going to have everything that you need, right? Everything that you need in one community. We're truly better together. Success is a system, right? Success is a system. Wealth building activities. How do you build wealth building activities, right? You have to figure out what you're good at, all right? You have to figure out what just comes natural to you, what you can do with your eyes closed and that you love. Not what you can do with your eyes closed and you hate it and you're gritting your teeth the whole way, right? That's fun because sometimes you have to do what you don't want to do. My grandmother used to say that until you can do what you want to do. So don't discard the stuff that, that doesn't make you excited and happy, because sometimes you have to do what you don't love doing until you get to a point that you can do what you want to do, right? And so the same thing that got you here is not going to get you there, right? No change equals no change. We have to understand that we have to what? Start living our best life, doing what we love. Why? Why did I trademark that saying? And I think I did it maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Why did I trademark live your best life doing what you love? And why do I always say that in my videos? Oh, so many times, right? Because you only have one life. And if you live your life and you're dreading every day, every minute, every second of every day, it's going to be a horrible experience, right? A horrible experience. But if you figure out what it is that you love, right? Live your best life doing what you love. What it is that you love. What makes you wake up in the morning and jump out of bed? I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. What is that? What does that look like? What does that even feel like? Do you have that? Put a comment put a comment. Do you feel that? Leave a comment. If you don't feel that, something is missing in your life. If you don't feel when you wake up and you open your eyes every day, boop, that you're excited, you haven't figured out how to live your best life doing what you love, right? You've got to figure that out. You've got to figure that out. And we're going to do that together in the Live Your Best Life Collective. We're going to figure that out. Like I said, I'm going to have a lot of resources that's going to help you to figure out what it is you should be doing, and I teach, do what you're good at, delegate the rest. Why? Because you're wasting time, right? You're wasting time, One of my mentors, Myron Golden, teaches wealth has a need for speed. You're wasting time. If you're trying to make money, why are you doing it slow? Why are you doing stuff like opening an email that someone else could do, right? Why is it that you're trying to make a thumbnail for your video that someone else can do, right? Faster, better, I'm sure, right? Better, and I won't say I'm sure, oftentimes better, unless that's your passion, right? And we already established that that's not your passion. You're just doing it because you got to do it. But why do you do that? right? Why are you doing that? It's because someone, and that's that limiting belief, the old saying, someone told you you had to do it, you know? And yes, I do believe that you do have to work hard. I don't think success is just going to come to you overnight, right? We talk about that. There's no overnight success. Your big influencers, they started somewhere. They started where you are at the bottom, but they were determined, they were committed, they were dedicated, unwavering, right? They were convinced that they deserved to have it all, and they put in the work. They put in the time. You know, they they made the shots, right? They modified the shot, right? And they didn't quit. They didn't give up, right? you know and it's good if we have coaches and cheerleaders that's supporting us. That's good. That's great. You always want to have someone that said, hey, you could do it, right? But many of those folks, they didn't have anybody. They had people saying, you know what, if I was you, I would go back and get a job, right? What are you doing? Why are you doing that, right? Oftentimes we have naysayers. We have people that don't understand, right? And or they, I won't say that um they're doing it a different way. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna have to end this video because my battery is running out. But they're doing it a different way, and the way that they're doing it, they think is the best way. And it may be the best way for them, but it may not be the best way for you. But guys, live your best life doing what you love. You only have one life. Again, if you guys are new to my channel, thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with someone that you know that's trying to figure it out. That's trying to figure it out. Hit on the subscribe button, right? And hit the notification bell so you won't miss videos and content like this one. All right. Again, if you're watching it now, the link is not going to be in the show notes, but it should be in the show notes in a couple of days. It's going to be Live Your Best Life Collective, our new community that's going to be on the school community platform. And I want you guys to join. It's free. It's free. Guys, share this with others, right? Because we are better together and we can win. You can have everything that you want and you deserve to win. All right. So without continuing, because I could talk about some more subjects, we're going to end this video. Again, I'm Dr. Melissa J. Williams. Live your best life doing what you love. Thank you guys so much. You only have one life, guys, to live. So be healthy, happy, and God bless. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And I will see you in Live Your Best Life Collective, the new community. All right. Bye for now.